Welcome, one and all, back to the culture of currency. I hope you had a blessed holiday season. I hope that Christmas was fantastic for you and that you have many more left to come. Speaking of Christmas, our next video will have some giveaway ounces. These are Santa ounces that were given to us by Longhorn Gold and Silver, my favorite coin shop in the area, to give away to you, some viewers. So that, among other things, will be given away here in the next video. So make sure that you are paying attention for that. And if you're not subscribed, maybe there's a reason for you right there. But today is a day where we get to cap off 1 year, one whole year of generic silver like this versus premium silver like this. We have tracked all of the metrics. We have all of that here for you, and I even created some charts, and if a picture tells 1,000 words, well, man, I have one picture here that you're going to want to see that captures all of this. I've created some graphs because why not? We're in the new age. We're in year 2025 coming up, and I just figured out how to use line graphs, and so it might be worth your time to look at. But before we get to that, just wanted to sit here and say thank you as we cap off this year. You've been amazing to me. You've supported this channel so much, and I thank you for all of the things that you have done this year to help me out as I collect this data for you to make sure that it is most accurate as possible, that it is relevant, and that it gives a good picture of what you could expect if this is a direction you want to get into, the metals and all that kind of stuff, and how you would want to go, whether it's premium, generic, whatever. I'm just here to give you the numbers. I'm not here to tell you what to do. This is your money. You've worked hard for it. Don't ever let anyone tell you what to do with it. You make informed decisions based on the best inputs you have, which hopefully is going to be a lot of research. And I have done a lot of that for you here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out what we have done. As you can see, green over here, this is going to be generic silver, and blue is going to be our premium stuff. So as you see, I've tracked all the things that we've bought this year. $100 a month is all that I do, and that is to prove to you that you can do it too. So this is $100 a month in our green generic stuff, and $100 a month in the blue, which is our government issued more premium type of silver. So I have the price, I have the spot, I have the premium and the weight. And I've tabulated all of that over here. And as you can see, we've also tabulated it here because we're now in quarter 4. And I have tracked our quarter 4 spot to be $29.98. So $29.98 per ounce is our quarter 4. And so if you look all the way over here, we have the price I paid for it. And then we have our ounce right here, $29.98, and the difference. So $27.70. And we have $29.98. That gives us a positive of $2.28 on that ounce if I were to sell it for spot, right? Which I know normally when we sell stuff, we sell it for a little bit under spot so that then somebody can turn and make money on it on their end, unless you are, the seller yourself going to the consumer. Usually there's a middleman, a silver shop, a coin shopper, or whatever. So I'm giving you a little bit of grace there in the generic side just to give you that wiggle room. So we're going to calculate every single ounce as if it's in spot. And we also do it for our half ounces, quarter ounces, all that kind of stuff. But when we go down, we see that with $29.98 being spot that we cut off at, and with a lot of these being bought at over spot, like right here, we had $32.20. And we had the whole last 2 months, October basically through December, being above $30. We had a little bit of a loss overall when you tabulate everything. And our whole quarter 4 movement gives us a negative $10.71 in value. And what that means is basically that of the $1,200-ish we spent, we have a value of $1,100 $191.70 over that time if we extrapolate what we bought things for. And I have a way to show you that here in a second. But we're going to look at our government bullion right quick just to kind of show you I've done the same thing, with the exception of I have to, and this is what takes a lot of time, I have to look at what these coins have sold for, not what they're listed for. But what I'm trying to do is get as close to a real selling number as possible. So when I go through my data, I'm looking at things like Numista, like eBay, where I can find actual sold items. There's a little checkbox you can click that says, what has this sold for? And I try to get some recent sells and add those together and average those. And then I will also look at places like Numista that tracks different online sellers' average value for those particular things. Gives us a neighborhood, right? We know these things have actively sold. Now, these are numbers that project things that have sold. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the same outcome. And in fact, I would say if this is the route you're going to go, you need time on your side, because you need time for the right buyer to show up. This is not going to be your everyday run-of-the-mill buyer, but people who are looking for certain things they either didn't know existed or certain things that they've been hunting for, and they're willing to pay premiums on it. Just like you're willing to pay more for a New Balance, Nike, or Adidas shoe than you are some no-name Velcro shoe from Walmart. Same rules apply. So here we are at Q4, and these are the numbers we came up with. Notice we did pay 30s up to high 30s and even $40 in this Jurassic Park case for particular coins, but we still have a positive on almost all of them. We lost 85 cents here on the Perth 125 anniversary coin, and if you don't know what that is, that to me just means value. That's this coin right here. It is a gorgeous piece worth all of your collections. But that's the only one. Oh, no, sorry. I see a couple down at the bottom. Let me go back to this. Down at the bottom, we have the Delaware Nation, which I just bought, and we have the New A Wright Brothers coin, which I just bought, that are both negative currently, but the majority are positive. And we have seen a movement, as you see here in the green, of $215.62 in the positive, which gives you a value of $1,468 of the roughly $1,200. So when we go here, we see that evident. Let me see if I can zoom in right quick. There we go. All right. So in the green, generic price paid. We paid $1,200, $1,204 really, because I try to get $100 a month or as close to that as possible. And on the government bullion side, we have $1,270. So we paid a little bit more for this stuff. Our premiums, $96 for the year. So that is, not bad overall. Government bullion, we see almost $300 in premium, kind of high. And here's the big disparity. Our average generic premium was $2.34 per ounce, and our average government bullion premium was $7.88 per ounce. Yeesh, almost $8. Generic weight, we had 39.75. Premium weight in ounces, 35.46. So we were able to stack a couple more ounces of the generic stuff, which makes sense. All right, and we have shown you what spot was at each quarter end, $24.60, which is what I miss. Gosh, I miss silver in the 20s, which I know it's just now landed back there, but I would love it to be at $18 to $20 again. And that's the collector in me. I understand it's a financial instrument for most of you that are stacking for it to be valuable. I just love it, and I love more of it. But yeah, you go down to Q4, our gains and losses. So with the volatility we have seen in generic, we're at negative $10.71, but we're positive $2.15 on the government issued bullion, which is not something I honestly expected. I expected to see a slow growth over a couple of years, but to be $215 in the black this early, 1 year into this, is shocking to me. It's not something I expected. When we get to our value, we're at 1,100. So basically 1,200, 1,191. So let's just say $1,200, which is right at what we paid, right? It's not far off from what we paid in silver because we paid $1,204. So it's really not that bad. We've maintained our wealth, and as we have seen, that's volatile. But in our government bullion, we have 1486. So that is positive 200, almost $200 right there. And now to the graphs, which tell a completely different story. Look at this. So as you can see, our value over time, we've seen as time goes on and as silver kind of crept back into the high 20s, the disparity between the premium and the generic are starting to spread. But over here in the gains and losses, that's where we see the volatility of the generic silver, which is both good and bad. A lot of people treat this as almost a day trading option where they will have 100 ounces ready to go, and anytime there is a bump like we see in quarter 3, they're dumping everything, and anytime there declines like in quarter 4 or quarter 1, they're buying up the stuff, and they're just turning it and turning it and turning it and turning it. And because in many states there's no taxes paid on silver or gold, this is something that they do just to have some walking around money, and it makes sense. But as we see, quarter 4 in the premium silver, it has been rising consistently. So I'm wondering, as we take this study into the next year, 2025, when do we hit a plateau? A lot of times you'll kind of see a rise like we have seen, and then it'll kind of taper off. It won't be so elevated. I'm wondering when that will be. What is the line of demarcation? Do we start to see that maybe on a standard generic coin that it is always volatile, and in a premium coin that it kind of hits 30% and then levels? Or where is that? Because obviously we know that you're not going to pay $1,000 for a 25,000 minted coin. But what is the potential growth where it caps out? Is it going to be $100 somewhere in there? I don't know the answer to that, but that's something that over time in tracking this, I hope to bring to you so that it answers a lot of questions about the longevity of this premium stuff, because that's the part over time. As we see, we have more weight in ounces over here in the generic, which means even if we have the volatility down here, when we extrapolate that over 3 to 5 years, do we see that the amount of ounces you have gained in the generic outweighs the plateau that might be present in many of our premium coins? I don't know the answer to that, but that is what I hope to bring to you. So hope you've enjoyed this. It has been it's a process. I will tell you that. It's not easy to just go through and keep this stuff going, but it is something that is absolutely interesting to me, and it seems to be interesting to you. So I'll keep this going at least for another year. I'll probably keep it going for 3 to 5 years, depending on what y'all think about it. But this is vital information that I did not ever find on YouTube, so I thought I'd bring it to you. But that is what we have today. Remember, next video, we're giving away some silver, so stay tuned for that. As always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.